Every interview is a story waiting to be told, but it's your job to make sure you hear it correctly. Before you ever sit down with someone, the most critical work has already begun. This is the preparation phase, and it's where you lay the groundwork for a successful and ethical interview. Your first step is to clearly define the role your interviewee will play. Are they a victim of a simulated robbery? A witness to a staged argument? A person of interest in a fictional fraud case? This role must be communicated and agreed upon well in advance. The scenario, whether based on a real event or entirely fabricated for the assignment, needs to have a sense of logic and internal consistency. A well-defined role allows the interviewee to inhabit the part with confidence, which in turn yields more detailed and believable responses for your report. Once the role is set, your focus must shift to crafting the tools of your trade. The questions. You need to develop a list of at least 10 open-ended questions. These are the keys that unlock detailed narratives, not the simple yes or no queries that close doors. Think of your questions as invitations. They should start with words like who, what, where, when, why, and how. For instance, instead of asking a leading question like, "You were frightened when you saw the suspect, weren't you?" you should rephrase it neutrally. Describe what you were feeling at that moment. This approach empowers the interviewee to provide their own authentic account, free from your influence or suggestion. Write these questions down. Review them. Rehearse saying them aloud to ensure your tone is calm and professional. This preparation stage is also where you establish your ethical boundaries. The goal is to gather facts, not to pass judgment or create drama. Your neutrality is your most important asset. You must approach the interview with an unwavering commitment to fairness and objectivity. This means recognizing your own biases and actively setting them aside. Before the interview, you should also consider the practicalities of the meeting. You will need to obtain clear, informed consent from the participant. Explain you will be taking notes. Explain the information will be used for a class report. Explain they have the right to pause or stop the interview at any time without consequence. This isn't just a formality, it's a crucial step in building the trust necessary for an open and honest conversation. Finally, your preparation concludes with a mental and logistical check. Have you chosen a location that is quiet, private, and feels safe for the interviewee? A noisy coffee shop, a crowded library, a neutral space like a reserved study room is ideal. Confirm the date and time, ensuring you have allocated more than enough time so neither you nor the interviewee feels rushed. Double-check that you have all your materials, your list of questions, a notepad, a pen, and perhaps a backup. By meticulously preparing, you are not just organizing your assignment. You are demonstrating respect for the person you are about to interview and for the integrity of the process itself. This careful planning is the invisible structure that supports the entire interview. The space where an interview happens says a lot. It can make someone feel safe, or it can make them feel on edge. Your job is to create an environment that encourages openness. Arrive a few minutes early on the day of the interview. Settle in and organize your materials. Greet the interviewee professionally and calmly when they arrive. Formally introduce yourself even if you know them. State your name. State your purpose. My name is Jane Doe. I am a criminal justice student. I'll be asking you some questions for a class report about the incident. This direct opening sets a professional tone. Reiterate ground rules and secure consent before the first question. This is about ensuring the person feels in control. Tell them you'll be taking notes to capture what they say. Tell them they can ask for a break at any time. Tell them they can choose not to answer a question. Please know that you can pause at any time if you need a moment, and you can stop the interview entirely if you wish. This simple statement can significantly lower anxiety and build trust. Document the date. Document the start time. Document the location. Arrange seating to avoid a power imbalance. Avoid sitting directly across a wide desk. That can feel confrontational. Sit at a slight angle. Or sit at the corner of the table. Maintain a comfortable professional distance. Keep open, receptive body language. Avoid crossing your arms. Avoid tapping your pen impatiently. Silence your phone. Ask the interviewee to silence theirs. Create a focused, distraction-free environment. Be a neutral observer. Calm, attentive, non-judgmental. Offer a glass of water. Small gestures build comfort and respect. Remember, the role may be emotionally taxing for the interviewee. Managing the environment and showing professional courtesy facilitates accurate, detailed information. This deliberate beginning separates student exercises from professional simulations. Now the heart of the interview begins. You have your prepared questions, but an interview is a dynamic conversation, not a rigid script. You must remain flexible. Start with the basics to ease the interviewee into the narrative. Use simple, fact-based questions first. For example, can you start by telling me where you were on the night of the incident? What was the first thing you noticed that seemed out of the ordinary? These broad, introductory questions allow the person to begin their story in their own words and at their own pace. They establish the foundational details of date, time, place, creating a chronological backbone for the rest of the account. This gradual entry into the more complex parts of the event helps build momentum and confidence. As the interviewee begins to speak, your role shifts from questioner to active listener. Pay close attention to their answers. Often, a response to one question will contain the seeds of several new ones. This is where you must be prepared to deviate from your list. If a witness mentions seeing a specific car, don't just move on to your next prepared question. Follow up on that new detail. Ask, "You mentioned a car. Can you describe it for me? What about the car caught your attention?" These follow-up questions show that you are listening intently and are genuinely interested in the details. They allow you to drill down into specific pieces of information, adding layers of depth and texture to the narrative that you would have missed by strictly adhering to your script. The language you use is critically important. Every question must be phrased with neutrality. Avoid leading questions at all costs. A leading question subtly, or not so subtly, suggests the answer you want to hear. For instance, asking, "The suspect was acting aggressively, right?" pushes the interviewee toward a specific conclusion. A much better, more neutral question would be, "How would you describe the suspect's behavior?" Similarly, avoid accusatory language or tones, especially when interviewing someone in the role of a suspect. Your job is not to prove guilt, but to gather their version of events. Keep your questions short, simple, and focused on one idea at a time to avoid confusion. Throughout this process, patience is key. Some people need time to gather their thoughts before answering. Do not rush to fill the silence. A pause can often mean the person is recalling a crucial detail. Let them have that space. If they become emotional or distressed, offer a break. A simple, "Would you like to take a moment?" shows compassion and respect. Your primary objective is to make the interviewee feel safe enough to share information. By asking open-ended, neutral questions and allowing the conversation to flow naturally from the details provided, you transform a simple Q&A session into a powerful tool for discovery. This is the true art of the criminal justice interview, guiding a conversation without directing it. An interview involves more than just the spoken word. A person's body language, tone of voice, hesitations can provide a rich layer of context. As the interviewer, you must also be an observer. Your notepad is for more than transcribing answers. It's for documenting what you see and hear beyond direct responses. When you ask a difficult question, does the interviewee break eye contact and look down? Do they shift uncomfortably in their chair? Do their hands tremble slightly as they recount a specific moment? These nonverbal cues are data points. They are objective facts to record with precision. Document observations neutrally, without interpretation. Don't write, "The interviewee looked guilty." Instead, describe the action you observed. Example context. When asked about his location at 10 p.m., broke eye contact, leaned back, crossed his arms. While describing the suspect, witness's voice became quiet. She paused for several seconds before continuing. These factual descriptions give the reader a fuller picture. You are capturing the how, not just the what. This adds a critical dimension to your report, offering insights into emotional state and comfort level. Note-taking should be systematic. Create 2 columns, direct answers and quotes and observations about body language and tone. This keeps information organized and prevents missed details. Be discreet in your note-taking. Don't make the person feel under a microscope. They may shut down. Maintain regular eye contact and listen actively, jotting notes during natural pauses. Capture exact quotes and mark them with quotation marks. Observations are not proof on their own. Someone might be nervous because they're lying, or simply because interviews are stressful, even if the event is fictional. Your role: report the behavior, don't diagnose the cause. Present these facts alongside verbal statements for a multifaceted account. By observing and documenting the silent language, you create a more holistic, accurate record. Attention to detail shows professional competence and raises the quality of your final report. Once the interview is over and you've thanked the participant, your work shifts to the final, crucial phase: writing the report. Translate your raw, sometimes messy notes into a clear, structured, professional document. The primary rule: maintain objectivity. Opinions, feelings, and interpretations have no place here. Present the facts as given and as observed. Write the report entirely in the third person. Avoid I or me. Instead of I asked the witness what she saw, write the interviewer asked the witness to describe what she saw. This keeps professional distance and focus on the interview events. Structure is vital for clarity. Begin with essential administrative details at the top: date of the interview, start time, end time, location of the interview, then state the interviewee's role. Example: the interviewee, John Smith, participated in the role of a witness to a simulated armed robbery. This provides necessary context. Use active voice whenever possible. The witness stated that he heard a loud noise is clearer than prefer simple, direct language over complex jargon. The body should summarize the information gathered. Do not transcribe the entire interview. Synthesize the key points and present them in logical order, usually chronologically. Organize the narrative around the sequence of events described by the interviewee. Integrate observations of body language and tone where relevant. Example: the witness reported seeing a blue sedan leave the area at a high rate of speed. While recounting this, the witness spoke quickly and gestured with his hands to indicate the car's direction of travel. This weaves verbal and nonverbal details into a cohesive narrative. Ensure the report is clean and easy to read. Use short paragraphs. If allowed, use headings to break up the text. For example, initial statement, description of suspect, sequence of events. Headings make the document scannable. The report reflects your professionalism. Proofread meticulously when finished. Check for spelling errors. Check for grammatical mistakes. Check for typos. Read it aloud to catch awkward phrasing. Ensure the photo of your handwritten notes is clear and legible before attaching or uploading. This final polish separates a passable report from an excellent one. The conclusion of your interview report is not the place for personal reflection or speculation. Its purpose is functional and forward-looking. This final section should serve two main goals. First, briefly summarize the most critical information gathered. Second, propose logical next steps based on that information. The summary should be a concise restatement of the key facts provided by the interviewee. Think of it as an executive summary of the interview. Highlight the most significant parts of testimony. Key piece of a suspect's description. Critical point in the timeline. Direct contradiction with a known fact. This reinforces the most important takeaways. Then address the what next question. What actions would a real investigator take? Demonstrate your understanding of the criminal justice process. Recommendations should be practical, specific, and tied to the report. Example: partial license plate. Recommend a database search. Example: unclear or conflicting timeline. Recommend a follow-up interview. Frame suggestions as recommendations for further action. Use objective, third-person voice throughout. Avoid definitive statements of guilt or innocence. Instead of, the suspect is lying, write, the interviewee's statement contains inconsistencies regarding his whereabouts between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. It is recommended that his alibi be further investigated. Sample closing. The interviewee presents as a credible witness with a clear recollection. A key detail: unique tattoo on the suspect's left forearm. Recommendation: cross-reference the tattoo description with law enforcement databases. Follow-up interview may help create a composite sketch. This concluding section ties a bow on your work. It shows you can conduct an interview and understand its investigative context. Review the checklist one last time. Date recorded. Time recorded. Location recorded. Role of interviewee stated. 10 or more open questions prepared. Notes taken including quotes and observations. Neutral tone maintained. Third-person active voice in report. Conclusion with next steps. Photo of notes uploaded. Follow these steps to produce a thorough, professional interview report. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact me right away. I am always here if you need me.